What's up, everybody? Master Reactor here, and I'm in the War League for GOAT format, so we're going to do a replay of the match I just played against Dr. Zoidberg, okay? I lost last week, and obviously you know I'm going to do this week. It's only W's on this side, ain't nothing but a W thing over here on this side, so let's go to dual records. And let's see my fucked up leg for a minute. Whoa, holy fucking shit. Damn. In pain like a motherfucker. That's the wrong one. Here's the one right here. Alright. So, let's get to this rock, paper, scissors. Tat, what's up, buddy? Yeah, I got a bone condition, so bone tumors grow on my growth plate. If y'all, if anyone used to play back in the day, they remember me. And from Florida. If you're from Florida, you remember me. So I throw scissors, he throws scissors. I threw paper, he threw paper. So kind of tense thing here. And I just throw paper and he throws rocks. So awesome, I get to go first. All right, let's see what I open. I open Sangan, Mirror Force, Spy, Snatch Steal, Ring of Destruction, and Pot of Greed. He's got Exiled Force, Duo, Pre, Dust Tornado, and Saku. So I play the pot, I draw into Solemn and Ring, I think. I decided to set Ring and set Spy. He instantly duos me here. I should have set Sangan, but I didn't know what he was playing, so hindsight, I would have definitely set the Sangan here versus the Spy, turn one. In case he is playing Warriors, which he is, so he gets the Sangan, so now he knows that it's not Sangan face down. So it's not looking too good. And I throw out Solemn Judgment because I don't want to pay half my life points. And he runs the Exiled out and pops it. So now simplified game state, kind of. We're even on cards. I get to be plus on turn. He sets Dust Tornado and sets Saku and says go. I draw into Jar of Greed. My only play here is to run the breaker out. And I break. And of course I hit the wrong one. I hit the Dust Tornado, so he chains it on my ring. Unfortunate. I set Jar of Greed and just say go. He sets Premature and then rotas into Blade Knight, runs him out, and crashes over the breaker. I take 400. I draw into Tsukiyomi. Pretty decent draw here. I decide just to run the Tsukiyomi out and swing Bada Bada, and he Saku's the Tsukiyomi. I set Mirror Force and say go. He draws into Kaiku. So he decides to flip the Blade Knight. I say okay. He sets the Mirror Force and he decides to get a little aggressive here and just say fuck it and run the Kaiku out. And that was good news for me because he ran into my Mirror Force. So that's awesome. End phase, I Jar of Greed into Upstart and draw for turn into Spy. I Upstart and draw into Deco and decide to set the Spy and say go. He draws into DD Warrior Lady. He runs the DD Warrior Lady out. And then he Premature Burials into the Kaiku and swings and he hits a Spy. Glad I'm playing 3 Spies in this deck because one's already gone. And I draw into another Deco. So awesome. I decide to fire the Snatch here and switch to attack mode and he Mirror Forces me. So that was unfortunate. But I still got a Deco and a Spy and another Deco. So he draws Book of Moon for turn, which is pretty clutch for me. And he's just going to swing at the monster. And I draw into another Deco. So I've drawn 3 Decos in a row. And then I draw Duo. So I set Duo and set Deco. He draws into Book of Moon. So he's drawing double Book of Moon. And I've drawn a double Deco. But on the 3rd Deco, I draw into Magician of Faith, which is clutch. So I decide just to set Faith and say go. He draws into a Kaiku. He runs the Kaiku out on me. And he swings. And I decide to grab the Snatch Steal back because I'm just like, fuck it. And he sets his other Book of Moon and says go. I draw into Heavy Storm here. This is a big card for me. Obviously, I'm firing it because I don't care about the Duo. And he gets both Book of Moons. I Snatch Steal his Kaiku, run the Chaos Orc out, run the Deco out, and attack for game. Let's go. 100 over game, that was. 52, he was at 51. So that was real fortunate there. So we're on to game 2. Let's see what happens game 2. It's over. He's still taking the life points. He can't believe it's not butter, but it is. It's smooth spread butter. Been eating this shit all week, and I can't believe it's not butter. So game 2, I board into Berserk Gorillas. I take my Nox out, and triple Saku I put in. All right, he opens Rhoda, Duo, Knock, Kaiku, Blade, Solemn. So the man's got everything in this game. This shit is not great. He duos me, and of course, he rolls a 6. Then he rolls a 6. Then he rolls a 5 and picks my Graceful Charity like a pro. And he sets 3 and summons Blade Knight and says go. I draw into Wing Blast. All I have to do is set Book, set Wing Blast, and set Sangan. He decides to Rhoda into level 2 and decides to run the level 2 out. I'm like, okay. He hits into my monster, which is a Sangan. So I go get Sinister Serpent here, and he pokes me for 16, but I decide to Wing Blast and put it back on top. Maybe that was a misplay, but it is what it is. So I get my Sinister back. I run the Kaiku out. He says okay. He doesn't want to Solemn this because he figures he has a way to get over it. And he's got Spy in his hand. So I hit him for 900 and set Saku and just say go. He draws into the Blade Knight, which I knew was. He sets his Spy and says go. I run right into it. It's a Spy. Awesome. That sucks. And I set Jar Greed and say go. He draws into Saku. Decides to run the Blade Knight out, set Saku, and try to crash over. And I Saku it, and he takes it. I draw into Breaker. I draw Greed. I'm still trying to fight here to get something. Into Spy. So pretty decent draw there, but unfortunate he has a Nobleman set. So I set the Spy and just say go. He draws to another Kaiku. And decides to knock. Popping my shit. And he tries to switch to Spy, and I book a Moon the Kaiku. As I'm like, fuck it, let me just try to keep my shit. I draw into Solemn Judgment here. And I run the Breaker out. He decides to Solemn Judgment the Breaker, which was huge. And I crash into the Kaiku and run into a Saku. Set my Solemn and say go. The man's got everything. He flips the Kaiku. I'm like, alright. He decides to switch his Spy to defense and then hit me with the Kaiku. Banish in 2 darks. He sets his Snatch Steel and says go. I draw a Torrential Tribute, which I boarded in. I set the Torrential and say go. He decides to just don't attack. He just says go. So, alright. I run the Sinister out. He says okay. I Torrential here. Boom. Pop the whole board. And he draws into Graceful. And I have to Solemn it. And he doesn't do anything. He hits me for 18, putting me at 12. I probably shouldn't have Solemn there. Is what it is though. I draw into Ring, which is dead. I crash into the Kaiku. He takes it. I set Ring and say go. He top decks MST, MSTs it, and has the Snatch Steal. So, yep, that's how that game went. Alright, so we're on to game 3 now. Game 3, I put Trap Dust Shoots in, because I think I'm going first, and pretty much the same board. Same type shit I do. So, that's game 2. Take the knocks out, all the good shit. So let's see what happens this game. Game 3, I open double Thunder Dragon, which is terrible. Solemn Spy, Trap Dust Shoot, and Tsukiyomi. So I discard the Thunder Dragon. But luckily I have Trap Dust Shoot. That's the only clutchest thing. He's got Solemn, Zing, Pot, Spy, BLS. I set my Spy, set my Trap Dust Shoot, and set my Solemn and say go. I instantly Solemn Judgment here, and I decide just to pick the BLS. Because I'm like, fuck it, you got 2 Spies only. You're probably only running 2, so let's go. And he tries the pot, and I instantly Solemn Judgment the pot. He runs the Spy out, which was definitely a misplay here. Don't know why he did this, but he decided to do it, and he runs right into my Spy. He wanted to get rid of my monster. He sets the Zing and sets the Solemn and says go. I draw into Saku. I decide to just tribute the Spy and run the Thunder Dragon out. I'm like, fuck it. You want to waste your Solemn here? You're going to have to do it. If not, your Spy's done. And it is done. So I run over to Spy and say go. He draws into Blade Knight, which is pretty clutch-ish. He runs the Blade Knight out and tries to crash to my Thunder Dragon, and I instantly Saku it. I draw into Chaos Sork here. I know he has Solemn, so I can't really push for a game or anything. I know he has Solemn and Zing here with a Spy in hand. So I just poke him for 27 and just say go. He draws into Dust Tornado, which is pretty dead. He sets a Spy, sets a Dust Tornado, and says go. Now I still know he has the whatchamacallit, the Spy. So, and I know he has Solemn. So I know if I drop this Chaos Orc here, he's just gonna Solemn it. So I decided to kind of get risky and just set the Faith. Maybe I'll draw into a spell I can use and flip it up. But he fortunately top decks Mystic Swordsman level 2 and pokes over the Faith, so that's fine. I draw into Wing Blast, okay card, and decide to just swing right into the level 2. He takes a 700, put him down to 34. I set the Wing Blast and just say go. He in-phase Dust Tornadoes it. He draws MST, sets MST and says go. I draw Trap Dust Shoot, which is pretty dead. Still can't do anything. And he in-phase Dust Tornadoes a Dust Shoot, which is good. Or he in-phase MST's a Dust Shoot. He draws into Exiled Force and just says go, because obviously he's waiting for my Chaos Monster. I decide to just set Tsukuyomi and set Solemn because I'm going to go for a game shot next turn. He draws into Graceful Charity. He Graceful Charities, and this is whenever I use the Solemn Judgment because I wanted to bait the other Solemn Judgment out here. And I'm just like, fuck it. If I can get the Solemn Judgment out, and as long as he draws some shit, which he does do, he falls right into it. So he Solemns my Solemn. His Graceful does resolve, but I got rid of his Solemn at least. So he draws into Snatch Steel, level 2, and Ninja Grandmaster Suzuki. He discards the level 2 and the Exiled Force. He decides to run the Ninja out and crash and set Snatch Steel and say go. I draw MST. So I MST, what I know is the other one Zing, so MST that instantly. And now, Solemn Judgment's gone, which was a perfect plan for me. I flip the Tsukuyomi, I drop the Chaos Sork, hit over him, swing over his Spy, hopefully he doesn't have another one, which he doesn't. Hit him for 16, put him at 100, I'm just like, good luck top decking. He draws into Blade Knight, and he knows what time it is. So, that was a good game. That was the War League, me versus Dr. Zoidberg. What do y'all think about that match in the comments down below? I think I played it pretty damn good, even after opening Double Thunder Dragon. So the Trap Dust Shoot was definitely clutch. Glad I put both of those in because it baited his MST, which I don't know if that would have mattered or not, but that was good. And also turn 1 opening it was great. So, woo, I'm 1-1 on the War League. Let's fucking go. But hit the like, hit the sub. Y'all have a good day or night. Peace out. Bye.